Okay, here we are the day after the storm. As you saw right there, a lot to pick up and rebuild. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. I'm Dustin Grove.
I'm Anne-Marie in for Felicia, who's off today. Those storms that came through overnight left a trail of damage across several counties today. And what you're looking at here is some of the new video that's just coming in this afternoon, a massive effort to get everything back in place. Homes were knocked off their foundations. Lots and lots of trees are down. That's affecting the power lines. There's also some flooding in some areas. Put it all together, and it's a pretty big mess.
Yeah, we saw flooding in particular in Shelby County this afternoon. So take a look at this map here. This is the path of the tornado and some of the hardest hit areas, specifically zeroing in on the Morgan Monroe counties.
Yeah, so this was to the south of Indianapolis, areas that weren't as populated. We do have team coverage of the damage, and we begin with Brandon Schaff. He joins us at the Morgan Monroe State Forest and has been checking out some of the damage there. Brandon, some big trees down, I hear.
Yeah, good afternoon, Anne-Marie, Dustin. We are here at the State Forest, and you can really see the damage immediately right here at the entrance. A stop sign right here. Lots of cars have been coming by, checking out the damage for themselves. People trying to see exactly what the extent of the storm damage was here, right here at the entrance to the State Forest as well. And you can even see a massive tree over on this side, which is completely blocking one part of the entrance here, as the State Forest here, the Morgan Monroe State Forest, was closed this afternoon by the Indiana DNR to the public for their safety. Now, we drove through the State Forest this afternoon and saw even more damage where crews were working to clear the roadways and take down hazardous trees. Indiana DNR saying that there were no injuries, fortunately, when the storm came through here, and shelter houses on the property took some trees, but the larger buildings on the property were fine. One man who lived in an RV here said that it shook the RV and some tree limbs went through it. And 12 people were also staying at the training center for a teacher academy at the campgrounds here as the tornado passed through the forest.
Well, we've been watching the radar all day, and we had our plan all in place and everything. And so it was just basically just follow our plan, and we didn't lose power, which was amazing.
A lot of work. They have a lot of work to do and a lot of cleanup, so we'll probably start picking up branches today and doing what we can while we're here.
Oh, I just told it to turn this way and head in another direction. That's about all you can do. Have faith and believe.
And back out here at the entrance to the State Forest, DNR says that it could be closed for days, maybe weeks. And Monroe County officials and NWS are also doing a damage assessment across all of the areas where this storm went through last night. And from what we're seeing right here at the entrance to the State Forest, with even a little bit of a drizzle happening right here out at the entrance and out here over in Monroe County, there's a lot of damage that needs to be looked at. So they'll be working on that for quite some time. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, days, weeks, maybe even months. Brandon, thank you.
All right, now let's head west to Owen County and the small town of Gosport. They also saw some of the worst damage from last night's storms.
That's right, and that's where we sent Ella Rhodes today. She's been there all day, and she joins us live this afternoon with some of the worst damage that she's seen there. Ella?
Yeah, this is pretty extensive. Take a look at this tree trunk here that went down. Okay, see, the tree has completely fallen, and it's a massive tree. Look exactly where it fell, just straight into the middle of this car. Now, Casey Hill, who lives here on Buskirk Road, she told me her stepdad actually just bought this car not even a month ago. So they haven't had it for very long, and now this car is one of the many things people no longer have as they pick up the pieces. You could see some of the video from earlier today showing you other damage off of Buskirk Road. This area just completely decimated and devastated. Sadly, it's just scratching the surface. The tornado really tore off tree branches and uprooted massive trees in this area. Now, trees also fell on homes and garages, keepsakes completely ruined, also water damage. The tornado even blew one mobile home off its foundation. We are in a pretty rural area and where people live a good distance apart from one another, but that truly hasn't stopped them from showing up for one another.
It's been a real thing to see, like, this area, you know, because you think out in the country and you're so far from your neighbors, but literally everybody is like on this road helping out, and it's great.
Crews have been cutting down trees all day and restoring the fallen power lines. The Red Cross has been out here as well. And it's just going to take a long time for this area to be cleaned up. But neighbors tell us they really love the forestry out here. They're sad to not see it anymore, but they're just happy everyone is safe.
And speaking of that, Ella, have you heard of any injuries out of this storm?
Yes, Monroe County actually said that one woman was injured on the street. She broke her ankle. She was actually in her mobile home when the tornado came through. She was actually taking shelter in her bathtub. That's when another neighbor told us that while she was in the bathtub, the tornado flew the bathtub 30 to 50 feet with her in it, and that's when she was injured.
Oh my gosh, what a harrowing time for her. Glad that she's going to be okay. All right, Ella, thank you. We'll check back with you at 5 o'clock. Pretty remarkable, Anne Marie and Rob, when you think about it, that really that's the only injury we've heard about so far.
Yeah, and partially because we're in this rural area, not as densely populated. Yeah. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the path of the tornadoes as they came through, and then also this concept of a debris ball.
Yeah, debris ball. It's one of the things we saw yesterday on radar. You talked about it going through a rural area. Keep this in mind. If this system had gone just about 30 miles to the north, we would be talking about that same type of damage from, say, Danville through to Avon, over to Speedway. That's how long this type of track was. So this was a real significant storm. Now, we've talked about that debris ball. We have several ways on radar to locate and detect where tornadoes have shown up. We usually use rotation. That's usually the best way. But occasionally when we have a very powerful storm, one that has very well-defined rotation, and we get this black spot that shows up here on our radar. Usually the rain is what it picks up as the heaviest intense red. The black spot there is saying, hey, there's something here on radar that is really intense, really strongly picked up by the radar. That's the debris that's being lofted by the tornado. Things like those trees, sticks, branches, they show up very well on the radar, and it shows up as that bright spot, but we have it color tabled as a black spot there. There's also other ways that we can do that. So that's one debris ball, but we have another way, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then we also heard one of our reporters, Brandon, say a little bit of rain coming down there, some drizzle, and there are some showers in areas that have been affected. Right where that tornado debris ball went through, we had 2 of them last night.
How much more rain are we going to get today then?
I think most of this is drifting to the south. It should be out of here. It should improve, and we've got dry conditions for the next couple of days. Let me go ahead and show you a little bit more about that high-resolution radar, that debris ball that I was talking about. Here it is. Shows up in the what we call the reflectivity, the high-resolution radar, what you're used to. I said there was another way to do it, and it's this product we call correlation coefficient. Very quickly, I just want to mention this because this was fascinating to look at, and thankfully we didn't have more damage or more injuries than we did. This measures things that are either all the similar size or very different in size. Things that are different in size, like tree branches, pieces of homes, unfortunately, can be lofted into the air, and it puts a little bright spot here on the radar. We knew when you have all those things kind of on top of each other, showing us multiple different ways that, yes, this was a tornado on the ground. We knew as it was moving through that, thankfully, not as populated area that we were talking about, a pretty serious storm. Let's talk about a few of those showers that are showing up. Most of this is relatively light in Monroe County. The whole system is going to slowly, very slowly sink to the south, but there are a couple of areas here, especially into that northern part of Lawrence County and northern parts of Jackson County, where we did have another one of those debris balls show up, where unfortunately folks are going to be trying to clean up. They're having to deal with a little bit of light rain for this evening. It should move out. Temperatures are into the 70s. Tomorrow you get a beautiful forecast out of this. Lots of sunshine, a day to clean up for many of you as the high temperatures go into the 70s. I've got pretty good forecast for the weekend, but there's a couple things I want to make you aware of with some rain chances. I'll outline that coming up in just a few minutes.